Hello everybody, it's 1:14 in the morning right now, but I think you can understand why I'm awake. You've read the title of the video, you know what's going on here. Daniel Bryan has reportedly signed with All Elite Wrestling. This is huge. What a big breaking news day. Following that CM Punk news earlier, it looks like, Daniel Bryan is heading to AEW. This is courtesy of Cassidy Haynes and Bodyslam.net. This report came out literally 15 or so minutes ago. I'm going to go through all the details, everything that Cassidy and Bodyslam have reported on, everything that we know so far. But pen has been put to paper. According to this report, the source of Cassidy Haynes has told him that he's locked in 100% already signed a contract with AEW, who are on telly right now, in fact, aren't they? You might know about this by now. Who knows? This could literally be happening as I'm recording this video. I might be missing it. Right, let's get to the details. What do we know? Danielson said that he wanted to work fewer dates for comparable money. He wanted the ability to be able to work in Japan and wanted to have creative input on his character. All three of those he got. That's very, very exciting, full stop anyway. I mean, the fact that he's going over to AEW is huge in itself, but the fact that he's also got the opportunity to work in Japan, and he's been very open about the fact that he wants to work elsewhere, so maybe it won't just stop at Japan as well. Who knows where Danielson, gonna have to get used to calling him that now, will end up. It's awesome that the guy's got fewer dates for comparable money as well. That's really, really cool because he is a father, of course, and he's been very open once again about the fact that he wants to spend time with his family. He said that you can't get those years back. So one of the great benefits of AEW, and Matt Hardy said it, in fact, last week, and a lot of them have been talking about this, but it's the fact that you don't have to work so many dates, and it allows you to actually have a proper life. With WWE going back on the road and their business model, although less so now, it still very much revolves around house shows. You don't really get a chance to be at home so much. So Bryan Danielson getting the ability to do that is very, very cool indeed. And obviously the guy is a creative genius. He was doing like bits of creative and production for WWE actually before he left now. And the fact that he's got creative input on his character, that sounds awesome too. And not just that, it sounds like if he's asked for that, it sounds like he's really invested, which comes as no surprise, but the fact that he said, I want creative input, that's a really, really good sign. So very, very exciting stuff. This follows a report earlier today that you may have seen. It came from PW Insider, and it got a lot of people talking, was the fact that Daniel Bryan had been taken off a recent list of talent plans for licensing and merchandising for this year. And he wasn't really on any internal documentation. Basically, all signs pointed to the fact that he probably wasn't going to re-sign because essentially he could have continued having merchandise produced and earned a fair amount of money there. But the fact that he didn't want to do that certainly suggested that he was exploring other avenues. And certainly according to Bodyslam.net, once again, Cassidy Haynes, that place is going to be AEW. So we will keep you updated on that. As I say, AEW is on the air right now. Hopefully, Ride of the Valkyries, Flight of the Valkyries. What's the one? They renamed it, didn't they? Hopefully that it hasn't started playing. Or the Final Countdown, which I'd much prefer. That's not true. I'm rambling now. Daniel Bryan, AEW, absolutely huge. Moving on, we've got the full list of Money in the Bank 2021 producers. I think this is really, really interesting. The entire card. We now know who helped put those matches together. So, interesting names on here. The Usos and the Mysterios, produced by Devon Dudley. AJ Styles and Omos versus the Viking Raiders, produced by Chris Parks. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, TJ Wilson and Pat Buck. Obviously, TJ especially tends to do a lot of the women's wrestling, a lot of the women's matches now. And they all big him up. And he's class, isn't he, obviously. The Men's Money in the Bank ladder match, Jamie Noble and Shane Helms. So massive, massive props to them two. For me, that was probably match of the night. I loved Roman Reigns versus Edge as well, but I really thought that was awesome. And some of the spots in there just so inventive. So give all your support to Jamie Noble and Shane Helms. Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston, produced by Jason Jordan and Jamie Noble. Two producers for that, for a glorified squash. excessive. Too much. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Adam Pearce getting involved. He's not just doing the general management stuff. He's also getting his hands dirty. It's good to see. And Roman Reigns versus Edge, produced by none other than Michael Hayes, of all people. So there you go. There's the list of producers. And moving on, final story. A few interesting tidbits from Finn Balor, who of course made his return to the blue brand on Friday night, confronting Sami Zayn. Great to see him back. He's looking fantastic. And yeah, he's appeared on WWE's The Bump to talk a little bit more about this. And he said a few, interesting bits. First off, he didn't know when he was meant to go out because the crowd was so pissing loud, right? So he said it. Obviously, it's incredible to return to any brand. To do it for the first time with the fans back, it couldn't have worked out any better. I'm really happy with how the night went. Little nugget of information. They were sending me from Gorilla saying, go, go, go. I was like, I can't hear my music. They said, no, it's playing. It was a pretty surreal moment. I was kind of walking out and looking behind the curtain, making sure that my banners are up on the Tron, you know. I was like, okay, the banners are up at least, so something's happening. Yeah, it was a cool night. That's how bloody loud the fans on Friday night were, and that sounds really, really fun, doesn't it? And what a pop he got. And you know, the WWE fans since the return on Friday, that Money in the Bank and Raw, they've all been great, haven't they? Yeah, really, really cool return to SmackDown for Finn. But the other thing that he talked about is the fact that he believes, and I'm not going to read the quote because it's quite a long one, but he believes the best work of his WWE career, or his wrestling career in fact, is his most recent run in NXT. So he's made his intentions really clear about going to SmackDown. He wants his hands on the Universal title again, so I think they'll probably do between some of Roman's more major matches, they'll probably do Finn and Roman at some point. He's certainly a natural fit for the main event scene, of course. And he never lost the Universal title, did he? He had to relinquish it because of injury all those years ago. But he also, he said that he thinks the best work of his WWE career took place most recently in NXT. And I couldn't agree with him more. I really do think that that was the best character work he's ever done. And he did so much for so many people in NXT, whether they beat him or not. Obviously, Karrion Kross is the most notable example, until Monday with Jeff and all that. Anyway, he did really, really good work down there, and I think it was the most engaging that he has been since joining WWE. I don't think Finn on the main roster was ever stale or anything, but it was perhaps a little bit sanitized, for want of a better word. So hopefully they don't have him dial it back. On Friday, he was just old classic main roster Finn, put your hands in the air and all that good stuff. But that's to be expected because it was the return. So you're going to want to just have as much fun with it as possible, I guess. Hopefully that doesn't fully last, because I think he was doing better character work in NXT. And it would be nice to see more of that on the main roster. Anyway, that's me. I'm going to edit this video, and I can't... Hopefully, Bryan Danielson hasn't just walked through the big tunnel on AEW, but we'll see. We'll see where we end up with that. It's absolutely bonkers stuff, isn't it? So yes, take care of yourselves. Good night. God bless. Whew. Yes.